What's up is why you've been lying to me for 11 years, telling me that DJ is my real son.
I can't hear, but I know what happened.
Why you been lying to me?
What have they lying about?
I got a DNA test done.
A DNA saying what?
Saying that he's not my son.
Let me see this DNA test.
You don't need to see it. I saw it.
How DNA test gonna say?
How you gonna be lying to me for 11 years? Why would you do that to me?
Well, where's the lie?
The lie is you. You are the lie. You have been lying to me for 11 years, having me believe that my son that I've been raising for 11 years is not really my son. Like, how could you do that to me? Like, what can you say for yourself right now?
Hey, man, how do y'all feel about mandatory paternity tests?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Mandatory paternity test.
Yes.
Okay, so we got a situation, man. We've seen these situations before. I'm gonna play another one, man.
Yes.
Sometimes the audacity of the women is just it. You take it to heart as a man because you could only imagine, you spend years raising a kid and you find out it's not yours. Anyway, I'm gonna play this scenario and then y'all give me y'all thoughts.
What's up, family? Check this video out.
What's up is why you've been lying to me for 11 years, telling me that DJ is my real son.
I can't hear, but I know what happened.
Why you been lying to me?
What have they lying about?
I got a DNA test done.
A DNA saying what?
Saying that he's not my son.
Let me see this DNA test.
You don't need to see it. I saw it.
How DNA test gonna say?
How you gonna be lying to me for 11 years? Why would you do that to me?
Well, where's the lie?
The lie is you. You are the lie. You have been lying to me for 11 years, having me believe that my son that I've been raising for 11 years is not really my son. Like, how could you do that to me? Like, what can you say for yourself right now?
What made you get a DNA test?
Because I went through your phone.
And why?
Talking about me, laughing and bragging, telling your friends that I have no idea that he's really not my son. So I went and got a DNA test done. Like, you think I'm stupid or something? Like, how could you do this to me?
You know what?
What?
I had no business going through my phone and getting
You
a
care
DNA
more
test
about
on
me
my
going
son.
through your phone than you lying to me about my son not being mine? Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? You care more about being humiliated and me finding out that our son is not really my son and that he has a different father. I should have, because I thought he was my son. Because you've been lying to me this whole time.
What are you talking about? Does it matter?
It does matter. Are you crazy? What do you mean that absolutely matters? Like, you don't see anything wrong with what you did? You don't see anything wrong with what you did? You've been lying to me. You've been sitting here lying to me for 11. Of course I love him, but you guys can't stay. You can't stay here anymore.
Where we gonna go?
I don't know. It's not my problem. 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 You can't stay here. You can't stay here. You can't stay here. I don't know. It's not my problem. I did my job. I did my job. I did my job as a dad. I did my job as a dad. You can't stay here anymore. Y'all gotta go. Both y'all can't stay anymore. No, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. Y'all can't stay here anymore. Y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta get y'all house. Y'all gotta go. I can't deal with it.
I can't deal with this bad
I can put y'all out. Yes. I'm gonna put you out. I'm gonna put you out. I will pack your bags myself and put you out of here. I will pack your bags. Y'all can't stay here. You gotta go. You lied to me. You lied to me. You lied to me for 11 years. For 11 years straight, you lied to me. Having me believe that he's my son. No, you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta get up out of here. You gotta get up out of here. No, I can't look at you. I can't look at. No, y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta go.
Frank said that it's bad acting. Man, look, we don't know if look, just take it as if it's real. We don't know if these people acting or not.
Kids, man, but okay.
Look, me personally, I wouldn't want to put myself on blast like that. That's embarrassing as hell. I do agree that he shouldn't have went through her phone, but that's neither here nor there either. Should paternity be mandatory at birth?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
Yes.
in husband and wives, all of it.
Yep.
Do it and you don't have to wait till birth. You can get it done during the prenatal exam that happens at like 7 weeks pregnant.
Mhm.
So okay, I'm gonna ask this question.
now.
Wow, I didn't know
So wait. How would y'all women feel if your husband comes to you and says, "Hey, babe, you know I love you, I trust you." He says he sugars it as much as he can sugar it, and he says, "But babe, I'd really appreciate if we can go get a paternity test done."
But if it's mandatory, then that'll be part of everything before he signs a
Right.
Okay, let's just say it ain't mandatory. Let's just say he asked. He
No problem.
he said
Oh,
what?
I got more smoke than a Traeger grill, but he can go on and get it done.
Oh wait, no.
Yes.
See, hold on. Wait a minute. If it's mandatory, y'all okay with it? If we ask y'all,
So I think that here's the deal, because I'll be honest. When I was, I've shared how toxic my marriage was, and when I had gotten into an argument with my ex-husband when I was 6 months pregnant, it was, I want a paternity test. And so I told him, you can get one, but you got to spend your own money. Now, both his kids look just like him. But the thing is, it's the reason behind it. So when it's mandatory, it's just a test. When someone's asking, it makes you feel like they don't trust you.
Mhm.
And if you are someone who has been loyal, who has been faithful, who has demonstrated that, and somebody asks you, and then you feel like your spouse or your partner doesn't trust you, that right there is a bit of a shakeup. Even if it's like, yeah, logically, I understand, there's that distrust that's coming into play. And that's one of the reasons why I also feel like it should be mandatory, because, I'm a former L&D nurse. And I've seen where I've looked at babies and I'm like, that ain't his kid. But, someone would have to say something. I've had women tell me, when the father was out, in the waiting room or whatever, leaving, and she's like, this isn't his kid. So if there was that mandatory paternity test, that'd all be taken care of. And, because of, HIPAA and patient, privilege, I couldn't say anything. But a test, just like, you're being tested to see, if you have, other issues, a paternity test, it takes away any potential issues of distrust. It takes away any lying. It just eliminates that. But when you're asked and you're a loyal person, it's hard for you not to feel like, oh my goodness, they don't trust me. And then that comes into play. And then there's feelings that happen around that, even if it's just, a question for the moment, you agree with it, that kind of lingers with you. So it's kind of hard if someone asks you, versus if you both came to the table and was like, you know what, let's do this. And you're like, yeah, I think it's good. So, don't give me that look.
I got a question for Paula. Can I ask you a question, Paula?
ask your question. You can ask your question.
You couldn't speak with your eyes? You couldn't tell that man with your eyes?
Tell him
No.
Why not?
You couldn't wink or blink? You couldn't.
Oh my
You
God.
couldn't
No.
ball your face up?
No,
You
I
couldn't
mean,
give him
he was young. They were actually 17.
No.
So he was just beyond foolish.
Still
No.
raising that kid.
You couldn't.
Like his
You couldn't give
mom-
him that. You couldn't give
His
him the
mom kept
Negro
telling
look.
him, "Don't go up there. That ain't your kid." Like his whole family was against him being up there. So, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take care." Blah 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 blah.
Oh,
blah.
that
I was just like,
Oh, so he wouldn't have listened. He wouldn't have cared.
he wasn't trying to listen.
Oh, okay. But you said there was
He was
other
Captain Save-A-Hole.
situations. In other situations, could you at least give the
They don't
Negro
listen.
look? The black person, now
Listen,
like
I'll just
nigga, you could.
There was one couple. They were white. The baby was not white. So if he wanted to believe that was his black child, go on believe it.
Man, I'd get fired as a nurse. First of all, I wouldn't be a nurse as a man, but I would get fired because I would physically look at that man and be like, bruh, like I'd be like,
They were dropping hints. It was like, oh, what do your other babies look like? What do your other kids look like? I mean, he didn't want to know. He didn't
Here's a
want to
question,
know.
right?
go ahead.
Here's a
Jamel.
question.
Answer
So
that question.
I understand the idea of being insulted at the inquiry of your your honor, you know what I'm saying, your integrity, especially with your significant other, right? That can be a little bit damning almost. You know what I mean? However, isn't it possible to simply understand and reassure that person in those moments with that insecurity? Because that's what that is, right? They're insecure in that
No,
moment. Isn't it possible
no.
if you
No.
hold on, I got
Do you
you.
want
Hold
us
on a
to check
second.
your
No.
phone?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Isn't it possible to reassure your significant other? Because we talking about husband and wife, right? Isn't it possible to reassure your significant other in those moments, like, yo, I understand what you might be feeling. I understand the disconcerting feelings that you may possess in this whole situation. However, this ain't what it is, but I'll take your test because you stand confidently in what it is that you're doing to reassure your significant other. Now, and before you answer that, I also pose this situation to you. If you ask your significant other because you have suspicions and you have a reasonable doubt, you have a reasonable suspicion, excuse me, that they're doing something they're not supposed to be doing. You know for a fact, you have a reasonable suspicion that they got DMs, text messages, whatever the case may be, alluding to the fact that they are committing infidelity in your relationship, and you ask them to show you what's in their phone. Should they also feel as insulted that you would question them in that situation?
Yes. Yes, they should. It's one of those things where it's like for me, I've never checked the phone before. The one time I've seen my ex-husband's phone was because it was going off in the middle of the night, and it was an old Nextel, and to literally that sucker would keep going off until you touched it. Other than that, I've never gone through a phone before, because at the end of the day, if somebody can take you from me, they can have you.
Yeah.
I'm not stressing myself out checking no phones.
Right.
So when it came to our son, we were not together at the time. We conceived him, but I told him, hey, if you want a paternity test, go ahead and do it. You ain't got to talk to me. You ain't got to ask me nothing, none of that.
Yeah.
For him, he was like, that's my son, regardless. Okay. I just gave you the floor that, feel free to if you need to.
Yeah.
Because I can pinpoint the day we made him. I can tell you the
Got it.
position we were in. I can
I
tell
get
you
that.
what happened right after that.
Right.
So for me, I've never cheated in any of my relationships. I'm a very trustworthy woman. I'm a woman of my word. So I would feel slated. I would.
Mm-hmm.
Would I tell him? Would I go through all that arguing? You can't get the test. No. Shoot, sir, I'll even pay for it, just so I can hang that over your head for the rest of your life.
Oh no, you can't do that.
I always think that.
Here's what I'm saying, right? Here's what I'm saying with the situation. Right? We know for a fact that these insecurities exist because of the things that happen societally. Like, people do some really
Yes, but
disgusting things. I got you. I
it's
got
not
you.
your mate's job to secure your insecurities, though.
Here's
That's
my
not
hear
fair.
me hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Right? I'm not saying that it's your mate's responsibility to cure you of your insecurity. I am saying, and this is you talking to a man who's gone through 2-3 years of therapy after being completely cheated on by his ex-wife in the most horrific ways. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying in these situations, right, where these kind of things present themselves, shouldn't you have an inkling of some kind of care that, yo, you're asking for reassurance in this moment. Me personally, if the shoe was on the other foot and I was a woman in this situation, I'd ask my significant other, you know what? I understand what you're asking me, but I want to go deeper. What's causing you to feel this way? I want to get to the root of it. I want to figure out why you're feeling this way in the first place. Something got you triggered enough to ask me something as outlandish as, is this child your child? You understand what I'm saying? Especially when depending on how long you've been in a relationship with this person, some 15, 16, 17 years, bro, we spend most of our time together. What's got you feeling this way? Why do you feel, what's triggering you to feel like this? I'm not
And
against
and,
your
and
test.
that's fair. But for me, come healed. It is not. I've literally been through a relationship where I paid the price for everybody that came before me. I refuse to do it again. Come healed or don't come around me at all.
Boom.
It is not my job to secure your insecurities.
Mm-mm.
If you're like, well, in my last relationship, such and such, I don't give a goddamn. That ain't me.
I agree with that mentality, and I agree with that
Period.
mentality on paper. But I'm gonna be really honest with you. 90% of people who are healed still battle and have to ground themselves in the things that they've dealt with
That is
previously.
true, but it is
And that's where that
still.
grounding comes.
I battle right
It's trigger.
now with reciprocity in relationships. But what I have also done is taken myself outside of the dating pool so I don't come into and make somebody else pay for what other men have done to me, because that ain't fair. And that's what's going on in relationships right now, where you got all these hurt women out here running around. Well, you know, men, they like this. No, baby, he was like that. Don't make that this other man's job to have to fix because you ain't fixed yourself. So if I have to stay single for the next 15 years to fix me so I don't take that behavior into a relationship, I will do that, because for the man who is for me, that will bring me peace, it is my job to bring him peace. And I can't bring him peace when I'm worried about what other men have done to me.
Right.
You hear that,
I
Dana?
agree completely. And maybe I'm approaching this from a masculine standpoint, considering the fact that as a man we bear responsibility to some extent, and we don't get the outs that y'all get. You understand what I'm saying? There's no room for error when it comes to how we handle I got you. There's no room for error when it comes to how we handle our significant others. We are put to the test concerning how we deal with y'all, to the point where we have to embrace your emotional irrationality to some extent. The reason why I'm looking at this way is because, again, I'm a man. I'm putting myself in a position of how would that woman feel if I brought something like that to her, for her to feel that way. I have to think this way. I've been programmed to think this way. And
So,
as much as it
so
works
women
against
don't
me,
deal with men's emotional irrationality?
No.
I'm not saying that's not what
Stop
I'm
your
saying.
lies.
You're missing my point. I'm not
No,
saying
I'm
that y'all
not
don't
missing
deal
your
with the
point.
emotional irrationality of men. What I'm saying is from the jump street, when the situation is presented itself concerning this whole, oh yeah, this baby might not be mine, I immediately put myself in the position of that woman in that specific situation. You feel me? Why? Because from my standpoint, when my significant other wants me to reassure her for something that she's feeling, whether she thinks it's a woman, I've seen women get mad at men getting a smile from another woman, even if he didn't look her way.
And that
I've
woman got
seen.
Oh
problems.
boy.
Hear me out. Just hear me out for a second. I promise you, I'm on
I'm
your side.
hearing you.
We not on. I promise we on the same lane and everything. We're on the
Sure.
same lane and everything. I've seen situations where women completely lost control over a man smiling. I'm not saying this woman didn't have problems. I'm saying it's that man's responsibility to help that woman fix from whatever it is she's dealing with. Why? Because societally, if he abandoned her, like, yeah, fuck that, I'm out of here, his whole character, everything as a man is gonna be besmudged horrifically as a result. Damn, these niggas don't stay around
But
for nothing. I
therein
just saw
lies
a
the
post.
problem,
But
though.
that's on her.
That's a
Yeah,
problem.
that's her problem.
That's a problem.
I'm
So
not
y'all,
It
saying
so
is
it's
y'all
not
not a
the
saying that
problem.
y'all
man's
saying
job
that
to
is
reassure her like that.
y'all. So y'all
It is
are
not
saying
your
that
job.
that's a problem. That's so you're saying wholly for all people involved that it's even when it comes to men, we shouldn't bear that burden. We need to fall back. I mean, listen,
Bro, if
I'm gonna
that's
just
what
say
they
this,
said, please
Jamel.
record this. Record this
Hold
right
on,
now. If that's what
wait, hold
they
on,
You
said.
can
Jamel.
record it,
Dude,
baby,
Jamel,
because
you don't
Jamel,
have
let
to
me
let
tell
record
me
it. I
you.
say it all the time.
yeah.
When you have such deep insecurity, no one is responsible for your
Right.
insecurities. You are, yes, someone else may have caused your pain, or there may be an external situation that created your insecurities, but you are responsible for doing that healing. And
Child, you better go to
yeah, I
Jesus.
mean,
Right.
and with what you're saying, Jamel, I was in that situation. It was opposite. I had this spouse where if someone else smiled at me or said hello, I had to deal with conflict for the next 3 days. So yeah, when I said, you want a paternity test, you got to pay for it. My
Wait.
dynamics
Hold
were a
on.
little bit differently. What's that?
Time out. Hold on. What did you have on when they smiled at you? Explain that. Tell
Oh
that
my
part.
Really,
God, my
Tell
Manuel.
that
Listen,
wisdom.
part. Tell that
Honestly,
part.
the situation,
I'm a
the
good
situation
sex,
doesn't even work. The
but
situation doesn't even work in the reverse, because if a man does that to a woman, you can 99% of the time hang your hat on the fact that that nigga's abusive. 99% of the time. In majority of cases, when a woman feels that way, it's because she has had experiences where a nigga just couldn't keep his dick to himself. Like
And that
99% of the
still ain't
time.
his
Which is why she has
problem.
that perspective.
But
Which
no,
is
That
why
what
I'm
still
saying
ain't
I
his
think in this
problem, though,
situation,
sweetheart.
Oh God.
I'm not saying it's his problem. I'm not saying it's his problem to resolve. I'm saying that he has some sense of responsibility in the situation to help her.
Child, the
you
only
so
thing
can't
he can
heal
so
help
I
her do is
somebody
help her
else.
find therapy.
Yeah, you
so what
cannot
I
heal
hold on.
somebody else. You can only walk your walk. And of course, if you're a loyal person, you're an honest person, whatever, but you can't heal. That person has to heal themselves. And like, for example, me, if I'm with someone and they're insecure, whether I'm a man or woman, let's take gender out of it, or the reason why someone's insecure. If you're insecure and someone smiles at me, it's not my responsibility to help you. If I'm carrying myself as someone who has good character, I'm not being unfaithful, I'm being honest, I'm being transparent, I'm being loyal to my relationship, I'm doing the things to help my relationship grow and evolve, but you're still insecure despite what I do, that's your issue. Now, if I'm doing something that is causing your insecurities, then that's where things may fall on me, where I got to do better as a person. But if I'm not doing things to cause those insecurities, and the root of those insecurities are from your other experiences, the only thing I can do is do what I normally do by showing up as myself. But it's not my responsibility, whether I'm a man, woman, it doesn't matter. It's not my responsibility. So yeah, you might have a character. Someone may, smear your character if you leave, and it's like, oh, everyone leaves me. Well, if everyone's leaving you, you're the common denominator, and you've got to do the work. You've got to do some healing before you get in with the next person. And pretty much, maybe you're running them off, or maybe the people you're choosing out of your trauma or your hurt are not in alignment with you in any way. So either way, you've got to do your own work, and you can't blame somebody else for walking away, because you had an unhealed part of you that was impacting that relationship.
What hold on, I got a quick question. I know Jamil wants to get back in there, but so let's take it a little further. We're talking about if we're talking about somebody that's been in a relationship for a stretch. Let's say you're married 6-something years, who knows? And then by the time y'all get to a child being born, something comes up. Like you said, you would want to know, Paula, where that came from. How did we get there? Let's address what that was. I think that's where Jamel's idea of a little bit of responsibility, one, figuring out where that came from, and two, what can I do to reassure you? Because I mean, I'm on the same page with y'all. Look, I am the red flag. I see something out of whack, and I make a really good inventory and say I'm not dealing with it. And that's one of mistrust and all that. That's one of them. But you can get in a relationship and get years down the line, and something triggers something, and then it manifests in some way, and you're like, whoa. I think both of y'all are making a very valid point.
I promise you, I agree with everything she's saying. I really do. What you're speaking to right now is exactly what it is that I'm talking about. A person could literally have what they believe to be a firm grasp on the things that they've gone through. However, something sets them off, and they completely blindside they still the other, like, yo, whoa, that ain't what this is. And it would reassure that person in that situation. Me as a man, I'm speaking from a masculine standpoint. I don't got titties nor coochie, so I can't speak to your perspective. You feel me? If I see my significant other snap out of nowhere, I'm going to try to figure out, your mom, what's going on? Why do you feel this way? What's caused you? What did I say something or do something to make you arrive at this point? Walk me to how you got to this point. I'm talking about that sense of responsibility. And it might be because I'm a man that I'm approaching it this way. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm going to stay in no situation where a motherfucker trying to manipulate me with their traumas. That's not what I'm talking about. Because I will skate so fast, you would think I was in the fucking Olympics.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with Jamil. I have a different opinion than the other ladies that are on here. I don't think there should be any issue, because insecurities are kind of a part of a relationship. Like, you have ebbs and flows, you have ups and downs, and they go through a period like a year, 6 months where you're feeling a little bit insecure, you're not feeling your best. That's a part of a marriage, especially. So I think that it's okay if either party has some insecurity at some point to address it, and to just reassure them and let them know that that's not the case. It's just a conversation. And also, I don't think it has to be an insecurity because a guy is asking for a paternity test. That's actually just a smart thing to do, because you could very well be being deceived and not have any clue that you that you were deceived, like the gentleman that was in Paula's hospital room. So
that's why I think it should be mandatory.
If I was a man and if I was about to have to pay for somebody for 18 plus years, college and stuff included, I would definitely want a paternity test, and I don't have to have no suspicion. Just give it to me. And I don't think it should be a problem.
I think that's a very good point because I'm glad you brought that up, Jessica. There's a lot of situations. People got to remember when it comes to just infidelity, I don't want to get down that road, but there are a lot of situations where you are just with a person that can put on airs and you don't know. And women are better at that than men. That is my hands down. Women are gifted in a way to be able to move and maneuver and are willing to do everything to make sure that he has no clue. And all it takes is one time. You know what I'm saying? It don't even mean she have to have an affair. She could have just had a weekend and you know, maybe she's smart. She knows she had a weekend. Husband is back around. They get it in too. The timing is similar, but she knows there's a chance, but she continues through life. And then that man just doesn't know. And maybe she wasn't sure, but she wasn't going to say nothing. And then you find out somehow, some way later. And then the man is sitting there thinking, when could this have possibly happened? Like, we've always been good. We've always been consistent. I've never been gone. And then it hits him. I guarantee you, man, if it would have been me, if it would have ever been me in my marriage, I would have been like, when did this happen? Well, I don't know. There were some moments where I wasn't shit, so it would have been justified. But anyway, I'm just saying, as a man doing the things you're supposed to be doing the right way for the most part, you can be kind of bamboozled a little bit.
Yeah,
and
I've seen
it's a good idea to ask.
Yeah, at the very beginning of relationships. I mean, I know someone who was in the transition of ending one relationship and starting a new one, and a pregnancy resulted. You know, she was honest, thank goodness, but there was an opportunity, you know, to say, no, it's yours, you know, based on,
Did the new guy stay? Did the new guy stay around? Did the new guy stick around? The new guy stuck around and took care of the baby. Hold on. The woman got pregnant at the end of a relationship and the new guy stuck around. Can we talk to them? Can you like would he want to talk?
No.
Just anonymously. Look, listen, I'll get the voiceover technology. I have so many questions. I ain't gonna clown him. I just got questions. No, I legitimately want to understand that mind. Because he a better nigga than me, boy. I'm telling you. Look, man, you better than me. Frank, you sticking around or not?
What?
You know Frank's sticking around.
Who's sticking around?
Stepdaddy.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of stuff, and it's like at the end of the day, if it was mandatory, it'll eliminate so much stuff. So
it would. There's no doubt. If it was mandatory, there's so many problems that we wouldn't have. I don't want to belabor the topic. There's another one we got to get into.